All right, let's dive into something pretty significant today: America's AI Action Plan. The global race for AI leadership is absolutely on. And this document lays out a strategy aiming to put the U.S. firmly in the driver's seat. Wow. Okay, so right off the bat, this quote sets a pretty intense tone, doesn't it? It frames AI not just as cool tech, but as absolutely critical for national security. We're talking about a high-stakes race for global dominance, plain and simple. So here's the plan for this explainer. We'll look at how this document sees the global race, what it proposes for boosting U.S. innovation, the essential groundwork needed, America's role globally, how they plan to handle AI risks, and wrap up with the overall roadmap. First up, understanding the stakes. The core idea here is crystal clear. Leading in AI isn't just about having the best gadgets, it's about shaping global rules, boosting the economy big time, and, crucially, strengthening national security. It's framed as a competition for the top spot in a technology era the plan sees as totally transformative. And listen to this. They're not thinking small. The plan literally says AI could kick off an industrial revolution, an information revolution, and a renaissance, all happening together. That kind of massive potential impact, well, that explains the urgency you feel throughout the document. Okay, so how do they plan to actually win this race? The first big push is all about speeding up innovation. And the main strategy? Getting barriers out of the way for the private sector. A lot of this boils down to deregulation. We're talking cutting red tape, reviewing rules that might be holding AI back, maybe even limiting funds to states if their AI rules are seen as too tight. They also want to make sure FTC actions don't accidentally stifle innovation, and pretty notably, they propose revising the NIST AI risk management framework, specifically taking out mentions of things like misinformation, DEI, and climate change, arguing those aren't core to just spurring innovation itself. Now, there's also this guiding principle laid out, especially for AI used by the government. It says AI should protect free speech, reflect American values, and aim for objective truth without ideological bias or social engineering. That definitely wades into the whole complex world of AI alignment, which, as you know, is a massive challenge. It's not just about cutting rules, though. The plan also talks about supporting the wider AI world, including open source models. Think better access to large-scale compute, which is absolutely vital, especially for training the big foundation models we see today. They also want to boost the NIRR pilot for researchers, update the national R&D strategy, and encourage smaller businesses, SMEs, to adopt open source AI. And what about the people factor? AI is bound to shake up jobs, right? The plan acknowledges this with a worker-first focus. This means pushing for AI skills in education, making tax rules clearer for company-funded training, getting agencies like BLS and Census to study how AI affects jobs, funding retraining for workers who might be displaced, and trying out new workforce ideas through the Departments of Labor and Commerce. It's about managing the human side of this tech shift. Okay, all this amazing AI needs hardware to run on, right? Which brings us neatly to the second pillar, building the actual physical foundation. We're talking serious investments in infrastructure and, critically, energy. Heh, you gotta appreciate the directness here. Build, baby, build. It signals a really aggressive push to get data centers, chip factories, and power sources built, basically cutting through any red tape slowing things down. Now, powering all this AI, yeah, that takes energy. A lot of energy. So upgrading the grid is essential. The plan lays out a three-step approach. First, stabilize what we have. Make sure it's reliable. Second, optimize it. Make it more efficient. Third, prioritize and grow, specifically calling out things like nuclear and geothermal power, and reforming energy markets to make it happen faster. Beyond just the power grid, this infrastructure push covers a few key things. Streamlining permits using things like NEPA reform and FAST-41 is huge for getting data centers, chip fabs, and energy projects moving. They also talk about opening up federal land, really leaning into the CHIPS Act to bring semiconductor manufacturing back home, building super secure data centers for military and intelligence uses, and, this is crucial, training the people needed to build and run it all, like electricians and specialized technicians. But AI leadership isn't just a domestic game. That takes us to the third pillar, the strategy for how the US positions itself globally in this AI race. So, internationally, it's kind of a push and pull strategy. On one hand, actively exporting the whole American AI package, hardware, models, standards, to friendly countries. On the other, pushing back against Chinese influence in international groups. And a really big piece here is tightening the reins on exporting advanced AI compute power and chip tech. Think stricter enforcement, closing loopholes, and getting allies on the same page with these controls. It's a delicate balance, right? Sharing with partners while restricting access for rivals, especially for that cutting-edge compute that powers the most advanced models. Of course, with all this power comes risk. You can't talk about advanced AI without talking about safety and security. So, how does the plan propose to handle these challenges? This part is super important, especially for folks working on the really cutting-edge stuff. The plan calls for evaluating these powerful frontier models for serious national security risks. Think chemical, biological, nuclear threats, or advanced cyber capabilities. And importantly, doing this with the developers. It also means assessing threats from AI systems built by adversaries, investing heavily in crucial research areas like interpretability and control, making sure we can understand and steer these systems, boosting cybersecurity for critical infrastructure, maybe with a dedicated AI-focused group, and promoting secure by design thinking from the get-go. They also zoom in on a couple of specific worries. One is tackling deepfakes, especially how they could mess with the legal system, using NIST standards and DOJ guidance. Another big focus is biosecurity, proposing things like mandatory screening for DNA synthesis orders and getting providers to share data to spot potential biological threats being cooked up using AI tools.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. What's the overall roadmap here? What's the big picture path to victory, as they frame it?
First thing to really grasp is that this isn't just one department's idea. It's positioned as a coordinated, whole-of-government effort driven from the top to hit these AI goals.
So if you boil it down, the strategy really stands on three main legs, or pillars. Pillar 1, speed up innovation, mostly through deregulation and research support. Pillar 2, build the essential infrastructure and energy foundation. And Pillar 3, lead the way internationally, promoting U.S. tech, managing competition, and handling security. And the ultimate goal? Well, it's stated loud and clear throughout. Achieve and maintain global AI dominance. Why? For the economy, for national security, and to spark a whole new wave of innovation led by America.
So there you have it. It's a seriously ambitious and comprehensive blueprint for American AI leadership. If this plan actually gets put into action, you can bet it's going to send ripples around the world. Which leaves us with the big question, right? How will this strategy truly reshape AI development, the global competition, and international relationships in the coming years? That's definitely the space we all need to watch very closely.